Have you ever wondered how a 17th century samurai could understand something that many of us struggle to control today? Anxiety? Miyamoto Musashi, one of the greatest strategists and swordsmen in history, discovered a way to face this invisible enemy long before it even had a name. And the most surprising part? His strategy doesn't just apply to the battlefield, but also to the inner battles we face every day. In this video, I will reveal how Musashi understood anxiety and created a method to face it that could still change the way you handle your daily challenges. If you've ever felt that sense of unease before making an important decision, or that voice in your head that never seems to quiet down, get ready for an approach that will make you see anxiety in a whole new way. What could a samurai teach about staying calm when everything around you seems to be falling apart? And how did he turn his worries into a strength that led him to victory? Watch until the end and discover an ancient strategy that will help you face anxiety with the precision of a well-sharpened sword. Teaching 1. Imagine Musashi in a foggy field where the tension of the impending confrontation mingles with the morning chill. Each of his steps echoes on the damp earth, but his mind, instead of wandering through the possibilities and risks of the clash, is focused on one point: the clarity of the present moment. Musashi realized that more than mastering the technique of the sword, he needed to master his own mind. At that time, he didn't call it anxiety, but he understood that fear and doubt could be as lethal as a poorly delivered sword strike. He called it a distracted mind, and knew that to win, he needed to calm the inner chaos that could unbalance him at the crucial moment. His strategy was simple but powerful. Focus on the here and now, because only in this moment can the sword cut. Teaching 2. Musashi developed a practice called Mushin, or no mind. Instead of letting his thoughts gather like a storm, he sought the serenity of a calm lake, where each wave represented a thought that needed to dissipate. For him, controlling the mind meant being able to act without hesitation, without allowing anxiety to cloud his vision or slow down his reflexes. He practiced this in an almost meditative way, concentrating on each movement, the sound of the wind, the feeling of the ground underfoot. Thus, he transformed his worries into a sharp focus, eliminating distractions. Imagine what would happen if, instead of getting lost in the what-ifs of life, you could focus on what really matters, just as Musashi did before a duel. Teaching 3. But Musashi did not limit himself to controlling his mind only in moments of combat. He applied this philosophy in all areas of his life, from the art of painting to calligraphy. For him, everything was a form of mental training. He understood that the mind is the true battlefield, and that without control over it, even the best swordsman can be defeated by the anxiety of a wrong move. Now imagine using this strategy to transform your routine. Think about all the times anxiety has paralyzed you, prevented you from acting, or made you give up on a dream for fear of failure. What if, instead of running from this feeling, you could face it head-on, like a samurai faces his opponent? Musashi shows us that true victory is not just in defeating others, but in overcoming oneself, one thought at a time. Now that you understand how Musashi applied the Mushin technique to calm the mind, let's see how he used this practice to face pressure in the most decisive moments. Imagine a duel where any mistake could be fatal. While most warriors would be consumed by the anticipation of combat and the fear of failure, Musashi knew that anxiety made his opponents falter, making their movements predictable. In contrast, he remained serene, with a mind free of worries and filled with focus, observing every detail of the opponent, ready to act at the right moment. Musashi said that expectation is the root of all weakness, because he knew that by focusing too much on what could happen, a fighter loses connection with the present, and that is when anxiety takes hold, creating doubts and undermining confidence. Now think about how this applies to your own daily battles. How many times has worrying about the future prevented you from doing your best today? Musashi teaches us that by letting go of expectations and focusing on the present, you find true strength. Teaching 5. But don't think that Musashi was immune to fear. He knew fear deeply, and that's why he developed such a powerful strategy. The difference is that he didn't let that fear control him. He said that a true warrior is not one who never feels fear, but one who learns to walk alongside it, without letting it interfere with his decisions. It's a practice we can apply directly to our lives, recognizing anxiety but not giving it the power to paralyze us. Imagine having the ability to look at your worries and, instead of being swept away by them, using them as a signal to focus even more on what you need to do. Anxiety can be transformed into an alert, a reminder that it's time to focus and adjust your strategy, just as Musashi did before entering combat. Teaching 6. Now that you know Musashi's strategy for mastering the mind and overcoming anxiety, let's talk about how to apply it to your daily life. Instead of merely fighting anxiety, how about transforming it into a tool for growth? Start practicing what Musashi called mindfulness of the present moment. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Focus on the sensations in your body, on the environment around you, and let thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. By doing this, you will be training your mind to free itself from the prison of what-ifs, just as Musashi did. This not only reduces anxiety but also makes you more present, more capable of acting with clarity in situations that require quick and precise decisions. After all, a samurai cannot afford to hesitate, and neither can you when it comes to achieving your goals and facing life's challenges. Now, imagine the impact of Musashi's strategy in your own life. Instead of being carried away by anxiety before an important presentation, a financial decision, or even a difficult conversation, you begin to apply the practice of Mushin. At that moment, you stop worrying about the final outcome and start focusing on the actions you need to take right now. Every word you speak, every move you make, every choice you assume is guided by a mind free of distractions, completely present. Musashi knew that a focused mind was the key to victory in any battle, whether with a sword in hand or in everyday life. And he shows us that we don't need to eliminate fear to be strong. On the contrary, we need to accept that it's part of the process and that by using it to our advantage, we become more resilient and confident. Teaching 8. But like any powerful strategy, practice is essential. Musashi trained his mind daily, just as he practiced with the sword. He sought moments of deep reflection, walking through nature, observing the flow of rivers and the stillness of mountains. He understood that nature teaches us a great lesson. Everything has its time and rhythm. In this way, he found the calm he needed to face the fiercest battles. You too can begin to incorporate this practice into your daily routine. Set aside a few minutes to disconnect from your worries and reconnect with what's around you. By doing this, you will notice that anxiety begins to lose its strength, giving way to a new clarity and confidence. And this transformation, just as it did for Musashi, can be the edge you need to win your own battles. Teaching 9. Musashi offers us one final lesson about anxiety. It only has power when we allow it to control our actions. On the battlefield, he knew that when facing an opponent dominated by his own mind, the victory was almost assured. And in your case, by confronting anxiety head-on, without running away, you too gain control of the situation. Musashi invites us to face every challenge with the courage of a warrior and the wisdom of someone who understands that the mind can be both an ally and an enemy. The choice is yours. Let anxiety dictate your steps, or learn to walk alongside it, using it as a guide to sharpen your focus and determination. Teaching 10. And just like Musashi, you too can discover that by mastering the mind, you begin to see life from a new perspective. It's not just about eliminating discomfort, but transforming anxiety into a teacher that helps you find balance amidst the chaos. By mastering this art, you will be more prepared for any challenge that arises, knowing that true strength comes from within. Now you can apply Musashi's philosophy to your life. Instead of seeing anxiety as an enemy, face it as a signal to adjust your strategy, to focus on what truly matters, and to live the present with more intensity and clarity. Remember, the true warrior is the one who learns to win first within himself before facing the world outside. Now that you know Musashi's strategy for facing anxiety, it's clear how this philosophy can transform your life. Remember that the most important battle is not against an external opponent, but against the fears and doubts that live within your mind. By applying Mushin, the practice of a mind free of distractions, you begin to develop a skill that few master: the ability to focus on what truly matters without being swayed by fears of the future. Imagine how your life would be if, instead of being paralyzed by anxiety, you could act with the confidence and precision of a samurai. Every step you take, every decision you make, would be anchored in a clear mind, prepared to face any challenge. By adopting this approach, you not only reduce the impact of anxiety but also start to realize that, often, the greatest enemy is the one we create in our own mind. Now, I want to hear from you. Which part of Musashi's teachings resonated with you the most? How do you plan to apply this strategy in your life? Leave your comment below. I would love to hear about your experiences and challenges, and if you want to continue this journey of personal growth and learn even more secrets to transform your life, check out our latest video, title of the last video, where I share other powerful techniques for achieving balance and clarity. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next videos. Your journey to mastering anxiety and living a more fulfilled life is just beginning. Keep moving forward with the courage of a samurai and the wisdom of Musashi. See you in the next video.